What do you mean by roaring 20s, and why do you think it's possible, if you can just kind of summarize it?
It's a macroeconomic story, but if you think about equity markets, the S&P 500 total return over the past 5 years, we're 2 months away from the halfway point of this decade, it's kind of hard to believe, it's 94%. That is roaring by any kind of definition in terms of just the performance. By the economy, I mean an economy that's going to grow 2.5 to 3-ish% in real terms, inflation somewhere between 2.5, 3%, so nominal GDP of 5%. A Fed funds rate that ultimately probably goes to 3.5%, and the 10-year, say 4 to 4.25%, is some sort of range like that. So to me, by that criteria, it is already meeting my definition. It's more a question of will this continue or not. And ultimately it comes down to the supply side. If we think of like 2010s, to me it was a demand side story. There just wasn't a lot of demand after the financial crisis. This decade has been defined by the supply side. First the pandemic dislocations, and now the question is, and I know we'll be talking about later on, like on the supply side improvements, whether unexpected surge in immigration and labor supply. AI is a supply side story. Ultimately, it's a productivity enhancing tool that shifts the supply curve about how much. So I'm not saying this will continue, but the conditions are in place for this. I kind of thought like the 1990 second half of that decade, that is at least on table right now. That's what I mean by kind of a roaring 20s.
Thanks so much.